Hello. Let's continue working with project number 1 or the HelloWorld application. When you open Xcode, it opens the welcome window and it recognizes that you recently worked on a project and allow you to open that project directly from here. If you downloaded this project from Blackboard, for instance, all the projects that I'm creating in this video are uploaded in the toolbox section of Blackboard. So if you downloaded files from there, you can click open other and then it will take you to your file explorer or finder and you can find your project from here. I already know this is the one I want to open, so open. And it opens Xcode. Let me resize it to fit the screen. And it is loading the project. You can see from the status update window that the project is open. I think I got everything in there. And what we did, and you can refer to first video in Module 1, we created an app and it has a single view application and we added a label component from the utility area. To review, this is our navigation area. This is where all the files that you need to use for your applications are stored and where you can access it. This is the utility area where it gives you access to the library that is provided to you by the operating system, the framework, and so on, and where you can access attributes of what you can select. And in the middle is how you put both of them together. So one file we create is called the storyboard file, which allow you to design and develop the user interface. And there are two other pairs of files, the app delegate.h and .m. This is actually represent one object. We call it a class. We'll talk later about it in future modules. For the purpose of our class, we will not be doing much with the app delegate files. The view controller files, they represent this one single view that you see in front of you. What these two work together. The view controller provides the logic or the intelligence or the brain of this user interface. So what you see here, this view in the storyboard give you what the user will see, and the attached file behind the scene develops the logic and the intelligence. What you see in front of you is actually two things. If you click on the borders like that and you select the identity inspector from the top right area, you see there are 6 options here in the utility window. There is the file inspector, there is the quick help inspector, and there is the identity inspector, the attribute inspector, and the size inspector, and finally the connection inspector. And you see here it says a class and it has the same name as this file. That tells you that this view controller, which is what you see around, which is controls this view, which when you click on the white area, that is the view. And you notice here the identity changes because these are actually two things together. You need them both to create a screen on your mobile device or your iPhone. If you move to the attribute and click on the view, there are some attributes or properties that you can change. For instance, the background, you see here a white background. So you can change this to a different background. You can also change the opacity of that background by changing the alpha value. And you also have this label that we added. When you click on the label, you're changing the component, so the identity here changes. And the attribute set also changes. So I can make a label centered. I can change the color of the label. And you can also change the font of the label and select any of the fonts that you have here. You can change the font size as well, and done. You can also, one of the nice attributes in the label is the lines, how many lines the label can have. The label takes only one line. Even if you made it very wide, it will be still one line. Or you can increase the number of lines by increasing this number over here. Okay, and then if you want to see how this looks, you click run and you see how it looks. Feel free that to play around with the attributes. This class is about practicing, is about exploring. Play around, click, make some choices, and see how it affects the overall look and feel of your project. So the simulators open the phone, and you see the app with all the changes that we made in it. Okay, and if you have any questions on these videos, if you go to Blackboard, there is a link on the side that says questions. Click here. Feel free to go to that link and ask any questions that you may have. So the next thing that we would like to do is to change that message based on a user input. So we would like the user to enter a message in here, and when they click a button, the message you see in front of you changes based on what the user entered. Everything that you put on the view, and I will call this a view, on the screen is called a component. And we have a component library in the utility area, the lower part. When you click on the cube, give you the object library, and you can scroll through and see if there is a component in the library that can do what you are interested in. So we found a component called label. There is a component called button, and there is a component called text field. In the beginning, you will take my word for what components you're going to use, or you will read it in a book and so on. But as you gain experience of your own, you will be very familiar with what are the different components, so you can find it on your own, and you will also know where you can search for components based on what you are looking to achieve. So we'll take a text field, drag the text field, we're going to put it in front and make sure you align them. You see here the lines show to allow you to align, and we will align the width to be similar to the label. In the text field component, there is something here called the placeholder. The placeholder text is not really a text that you have to delete, but it gives a message. So I can say enter a message. You can provide a background image. You can also center the text, change the font, and change the color of the text. So many different options. Make sure that you explore all the different options that you have here. There are clear buttons if you want to appear or not, and so on. Different if you want to do capitalization, correction, what kind of keyboard, appearance, return key, and so on and so forth. And we need another one which is a button. So you take a button here, and we'll put that button here and say display. And likewise, you can change the size of the button. You can change attributes. Here is the text. There are different formats. There are different types of buttons. And you can change the text color, the shadow color, the system font and size, and so on and so forth. If you run the app, you have to stop the simulator and click run. So here's our app. If you click on the text field, the keyboard comes automatically. This is something we did not do. This is the beauty of using libraries and using frameworks, that there are already common functionalities already set up and programmed, and it happens by just using the component. So I can type my message here, hello class. And what I want to do is when the user click display, this message appears instead of hello world, and the keyboard disappears. When I click this display, nothing happens. If you try to click the return key, nothing happens. Why nothing happens? Because we did not provide any intelligence to the application. All what we did is we created a user interface, The intelligence is what we do in the coding here, and that's what we will do in the next video. Thank you.